Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative. Speaking of filmmaker Kristian Mercado, about a lot of really cool projects that he's working on currently. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
You've been a busy guy. There's no there's no words around that. A lot of HBO Max comedy specials, a lot of things happening. There's a lot on the go now for Kristian Mercado.
Yeah, man, it's been really wild. I've just directed Phoebe Robinson special, which is Sorry Harriet Tubman.
Yep.
And then Aida Rodriguez's special, which is Fighting Words, which is due to come out, I think, Monday. Yeah. November 4th.
Pretty
on
soon.
HBO Max. And then I do have a couple of other specials that are circulating in Netflix, like Sam Jay's special, and then Type 5 on Comedy Central, and then London Hughes, Catch a Dick, which has a really funny title.
Oh, absolutely. No, so many projects. It's interesting because I've interviewed filmmakers before. I'm like, it's funny because I'll interview like the filmmaker, and then I'll interview someone who does like documentaries, and there's differences. I mean, we're talking comedy specials here. I have so many questions, but what's the first thing you can think of in terms of the filmmaking storytelling aspect of it from behind the scenes about doing comedy specials? That's a bit of like a misconception. What can you tell us about that people might not know about it?
Totally. No, I think it's interesting because like the comedy special, I think it's an art form, you know? Like, it is kind of like, it is a big art form. Like I think people forget, but like Richard Pryor, when he used to drop comedy specials in in a bygone era, those used to go to theaters. Like they actually would play in theaters, and it was kind of a way for like a comedian when they like got so big that it was like, touring isn't really enough, and like a lot of people aren't going to be able to see that comic. So like going to a theater to see your favorite comedian was actually a thing. There was something about it that was special back then, and so I think there's a lot of thinking that goes behind it, at least for me, because I'm. It's like the material that the comic comes up with. Yeah. Sometimes it takes them, like a year or multiple years.
Takes them a long time, or even getting the deal too, right? That's why they say. Yeah. That's why, and I feel like you're the perfect person to talk about this too. I haven't been to a comedy show in a while because of the pandemic and everything, but you know how like they're very strict about like no phones, no video. It's because of this stuff. You're making it special.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want the burn. They call it burn the material. Like,
they're like very strict about it, though, and as well as they should be, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a precious thing, like because when you do comedy like sets on like in a live setting, you're kind of testing things out. You don't want the material to leak because you are saving it for something. You might have an intention behind it. You might need it for your 30, your hour, even your 15, or your Colbert show, like it just, you never know. Like, the lifespan of a comedian is like kind of long and different phases of their life. And like they, when you present your material, it's going to, you kind of want to be precious about it, I think.
And I feel like people kind of know the narrative of the grind for comedians, but actually, like for you specifically, like working with these comedians on these specials, is it complete? Is it like way more than you would have expected in terms of the grind and how hard they actually work? Like it's pretty crazy.
No, absolutely. It's like comics live like nomadic kind of wild lives, I would say, because there's just like it is a grind, it's a hustle. Like I think like there's a lot of work being put into it, and like a lot of thinking, a lot of writing, a lot of living. They're kind of touring it, they're checking the material. Like it's impressive, honestly. Like I've been lucky enough to be able to like kind of tour with some comedians and like see them kind of work their material over a long period of time, or see sets happen multiple times, and you can kind of see the craft and how much they work like kind of unfold, over time. It's crazy.
It's crazy. For you specifically, for Kristian Mercado, I am curious because, directing comedy specials is very like specific, I find, in filmmaking. You know what I mean? So, did you have this like how did you get into comedy specials? I mean, you have this idea of wanting to make films and content. Did it kind of just happen, or did you kind of like did you want to do like? I'm just curious about that. That interests me a little.
No, it's really interesting. Like, I mean, I'm like a film festival baby, right? Like, that's kind of where I came out of. Like, I did, I was like a 2-time South by winner and like Slamdance winner and Cinereach grant recipient. So like I have like this really kind of crazy like background in terms of what the comedy space is. Like I don't know like if that's I mean some people do circulate in film festivals and comedy. I mean, the talent pool for like actors and writers sometimes comes from like stand up, and
absolutely.
A lot of writer rooms are like stand up comedians, like it's like that's kind of one of the mix of you either get them from stand up or you find them in festivals, right? And but sometimes they don't meet, like
sometimes they won't intersect at all. But it's interesting too because you mentioned this the film festivals, and I find the networking component was always there. I mean, that's kind of like the point of these festivals. But are you noticing, especially during the digital age, even before the pandemic? I mean, that's like. Because some people go in with different kind of ambitions. Some people want like to get a deal. Some people want to meet people. But like, is it safe to say it's a little less about that now and a lot more about the networking? Like, I'm just curious of that perspective from you.
It's interesting because like I think it's always good to go to find community. Like that's how I look at it. Like if you're interested in something, like you see this in stand up a lot. Like there's a strong community, like, within the stand-up community, whether, you know what I mean, at different phases. And people have varying opinions about even like how the community functions, but like it's a community, you know what I mean? So like, I think even, and film festivals are a community too. So like the more like present you are, the more, you're able to kind of find out about other filmmakers or what other people's projects are, or like find collaborators or writers or discovery of talent, like that's all what these places do. And I think it's really just about finding community, I think. And so that for me has always been part of my life, like seeking out community. Like I think that's why I'm drawn to film festivals and why I'm drawn to comedy.
Big community aspect of it, absolutely.
Yeah, they have community, yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Because I find myself, a lot of my friends are from film festivals and a lot of my friends are from comedy. And somehow I'm like able to bridge those two worlds.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things where, being able to working on events or being at events, whether you're working behind the scenes or whether you're like promoting a movie, like it's just the amount of people that you will meet at a lot of these events. Like the event management is like you're gonna meet someone that you can collaborate with. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're gonna find your people somehow. Like it just happens as long as you're present and you're like, having a good time and you're just like, willing to see what happens, sort of, it's a beautiful thing.
For sure. It is. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see how connections come to be. I am honestly the big thing. I mean, you look at a lot of the comedy specials, right? I mean, you'd probably be lying to me if you said like you knew this was the official direction you were going to be in with the HBO Max comedy specials. But the unpredictability of it is a bit crazy too, right?
Yeah. I honestly didn't see myself in doing the comedy specials thing. Like it's kind of like wild. It was actually Hannibal Buress's idea initially. Like he kind of was the one who I directed this music video for Kool Keith and MF Doom, which is a wild story because like I had this opportunity to work on a Game of Thrones promo or work on this music video. And I showed the music video of the promo.
Can I say I was not expecting the story to go there, but that's awesome.
It paid way less, by the way, too. So like it was like, but I respected Kool Keith and MF Doom so much, like, and I felt like it was just that's a rare opportunity to work with them. So like, I got to make this music video, and Kool Keith ended up touring it in LA a lot. Like he would just play it before his shows. And so a lot of people in LA would start to, because the music video had my name on it, would start hitting me up. So like even like, an agency had started tracking me about that time because of that music video. And then Hannibal saw it and me and Hannibal had known each other a little bit before that, but it kind of like made him think.
Well, the access though is insane, right? The ability. I mean, they're saying we're in the golden age of content right now, and a lot of people are saying that, like the cinema, like they're saying. And I mean, it's actually funny because I'm curious to kind of pick your brain about this a little bit because your work is just phenomenal and everything. Basically, I feel like there's 3 reasons why we're like in like the golden age of TV and film and content right now. But like, I feel like one of the 3 reasons is more important than the other 2. So obviously like the quality of the storytelling is amazing. Like the things that people are writing is just fantastic. So that's one aspect of it. There's also the aspect of how they look. I mean, you know this from the director's side of it. The aesthetic eye candy, what these things look like the technology, the directors of photography just hit it out of the park. Me though, honestly, it's the access. It's the ability of so many countries instantly being able to see your work, basically. Like that, it blows my mind. And it blows my mind how quick it is too. Like it's crazy to me how quick it becomes these days.
Oh, totally. Like Squid Games kind of like became a cultural phenomenon recently. And I don't think that would happen before the age of access the way it has now, where like, people from around the globe can share the same content. It used to be like, if there was a show in, an Asian region, because I remember like when I was a kid growing up, I was obsessed with Dragon Ball. And so you couldn't get access to Dragon Ball, certain seasons ahead of time unless you went to a bootleg shop and bought it. But like it was like a whole process to find content, like
it's funny like, you mentioned Dragon Ball. Peter Kalamis, who did one of the voices of Goku, has been on my show a few times.
Whoa, that's so cool.
But he was saying that when you go to these conventions, it goes hand in hand with the access now. It blows your mind of like how many people like going to conventions is where you really see like the impact of what we're talking about the access.
Oh, totally. Totally. That's like also community too. That's like where people gather to like share a passion or love, and that's the best.
It's huge. Comedy specials coming out pretty soon on HBO Max. What do you hope people get out of it when they see the Aida Rodriguez comedy special?
It's really cool because it's like a really personal. I think like a lot of comedy is like, especially the best comedy is about something personal, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like someone's journey. And I think Aida
hard hitting, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, she's just really good about like unpacking trauma and making you laugh with it, and like it has like a healing quality. I think like it's a really funny special.
Yeah,
but she's also telling some truths in it, and I think that's exciting, And
that's going to be on HBO Max. They're going to be able to check that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and there's a documentary at the end on top of it too. So that's going to be cool too. So like people should stick around for after the special to watch the documentary as well.
Oh, that's great. Absolutely. Kristian, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really enjoyed chatting with you, man.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so they can look out for the special. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Oh, yeah, totally. Follow me on Chris Merc, KRISMERC on Instagram. And, that's the easiest way to find me.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Kristian Mercado and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.